So I was wondering, how do other INTPs feel about empathy? Because I personally struggle to feel empathy for the suffering of others. I guess my own way is to try and understand it rather than empathise with it. But I don't really feel their suffering or sadness. It's not something that particularly sort of moves me emotionally. Don't get me wrong, I can understand their pain by perhaps using my introverted sensing and thinking about myself in their situation or putting myself in their situation. Um, and by doing that, I can then see that being in that particular situation is painful or is in some way bad. And I think in particular TV adverts are or can be a good example of what I'm talking about. Um, like there'll be an advert for some charity or something, and they'll be showing starving children or children with illnesses, and I can see that they're suffering and that they're having a bad time, but I don't really feel it inside. I don't really feel their suffering, and in a way, I guess it's quite difficult to understand if you're not a I don't know, a thinking type, or if you're not an INTP, or don't lack the extroverted feeling that INTPs tend to lack. But I do recognise that these kids on these TV adverts are suffering because like I said, analytically I can see that they are suffering and I can recognise to a certain degree how they must be feeling. Um, I don't know. Maybe that is what empathy is. Um, but my interpretation is that empathy is when you really feel another person's pain, and I don't tend to feel that. The closest that I can get to that is by understanding their pain, if that makes sense, rather than feeling it. There will be some things which do upset me, and I guess I can get upset if close family or friends are suffering. But generally, the empathy that I have for strangers is quite low. And I'm guessing for us INTPs, this must be down to the weak extroverted feeling function that we have. And I think another thing about these TV adverts. I might be going off on a bit of a tangent here from my point, but whatever. I think the point about these TV adverts is that sometimes they can annoy me because sometimes they try and use emotional blackmail to try and get money from you, and I hate the idea that someone is trying to control me through eliciting or trying to elicit an emotional response from me. I'm not saying that their cause isn't a worthy cause because it probably is, but sometimes I just don't agree with the way in which they go about these things. It's almost as if they want to shock people into giving them money, and also quite a lot of the time these non-profit charities they actually pay a lot of money in salaries to employees and workers. Um, I know that in order for them to run and do what they're doing, they need to have staff. But sometimes these companies can be quite um, suspect. Um, and yeah, I've gone off topic a bit there. But I've been thinking as well about the relationship between MBTI type and things such as narcissistic personality disorders, and sociopaths and psychopaths and things like that. I can't really imagine a sociopath who generally lacks empathy and is sort of widely considered to be a very selfish person. I can't really imagine them having, say, extroverted feeling as their dominant function. Maybe I'm just stating the obvious here, but I'm assuming that most of these sociopathic types lack extroverted feeling. Surely they must do. So, in a way, is it really a disorder, or can we really call it a disorder when it could, in some way, be linked to their personality type? Like if they lack extroverted feeling, or if they don't have the extroverted feeling function, um, does that mean that they are more likely to be sociopaths? Is this really a kind of a mental disorder, or is it just the way our personality types work? I mean, I don't know. I mean, I can't really imagine an ENTJ or any other type with a sort of a dominant extroverted feeling function. I can't really imagine them being a sociopath, being an extremely unempathetic, sort of selfish person. I mean, surely the whole idea of being a sociopath in some way precludes someone being an extroverted feeling type. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but but yeah, if anyone has any ideas or wants to share their understanding of empathy from their perspective, if you're an INTP and been thinking about this sort of stuff, then let me know. So yeah, I really need a new webcam. This one's a bit dodgy, but yeah. Anyways, peace.